Scene 1. Imagine an animal the size of a city bus gliding below the sunlit surface. Its teeth alone are bigger than a human hand. That image is the shorthand for Megalodon. But the real story is bigger, stranger, and much more useful. Fossils of teeth, vertebrae, and whale bones let paleontologists reconstruct not just scale, but hunting style, habitat, and why it disappeared. Over the next 9 minutes, we'll follow those clues. Teeth that slice, vertebrae that hint at muscle, and bite marks that read like crime scene evidence. We'll also bust myths about speed, lineage, and whether it was just a giant great white. Scene 2. First, the teeth. Megalodon teeth are broad, triangular, and finely serrated. They're not built to grip and hold like a crocodile's. They're built to cut. Each tooth looks like a steak knife the size of a human palm. Paleontologists use tooth shape and wear patterns to read diet. Serrations slice blubber and flesh. The tooth base and spacing tell us how many rows of teeth filled the jaw. Teeth are abundant in the fossil record because they're made of enamel. Every time a tooth fell out or was replaced, the ocean kept a copy. Those copies are the first line of evidence for a predator that targeted large prey. Scene 3. Next, the setting. Megalodon lived during the Miocene and early Pliocene in warm, productive seas. The oceans then teemed with baleen whales and pinnipeds, a buffet of large oily prey. Warm currents and coastal upwelling created pockets of food-rich water where juvenile and adult whales fed. That abundance let a predator grow huge. Size isn't just for show. In animals, maximum body size often tracks food availability. The fossil map of Megalodon teeth matches regions where ancient whales were common, which ties its existence to a whale-rich world. Scene 4. Here's a rehook. Megalodon wasn't just a massive jaw on a slow body. Vertebral centra, the fossilized chunks of its backbone, are stout and show strong muscle attachments. Those bones suggest a heavily muscled torso and a powerful tail, combined with a hydrodynamic, torpedo-like body inferred from shark relatives. It could produce short bursts of speed. That's important. To hunt whales, you need power to catch, or at least control prey, and Megalodon had the bone architecture to deliver it. Scene 5. So how did it hunt? Bite marks on fossilized whale bones give us direct clues. Paleontologists find semicircular tooth patterns, punctures, and cut lines that match Megalodon teeth. Some whale bones show healed injuries, evidence of repeated attacks and survival, while others show catastrophic breaks and tooth fragments embedded in bone. Those patterns suggest powerful contact bites to the chest and flanks, crushing bone and tearing blubber. Megalodon probably used a mix of ambush and crushing bites, targeting large parts of a whale to disable it quickly. Scene 6. Comparisons to modern sharks sharpen the picture. Great whites tear chunks and often go for the soft underbelly. Orcas use teamwork and precise targeting. Megalodon's teeth are thicker and broader than great whites, favoring bone-crushing power. Isotopic analysis from fossil teeth suggests juvenile megalodons lived in warmer, shallower waters, likely nursery areas where food was safer and abundant. That pattern mirrors many big predators. Young stay in protected zones until large enough to take on big prey. It's a social and life history clue written in chemistry. Scene 7. Second rehook. How big was it really? Estimates vary, but the most careful scaling methods use vertebral width and tooth crown height compared to living sharks. Conservative reconstructions place many adults in the 15 to 18 meter range. Some estimates push higher, but uncertainty comes from scaling an extinct beast that combined proportions not found today. Still, even the conservative numbers make Megalodon one of history's largest predators. Size plus the tooth shape equals a weapon optimized to cut through blubber, slice muscle, and crush bone. Scene 8. Now, the biggest payoff, mechanics. Teeth and jaw shape indicate a bite that could both slice and devour heavy tissue. The serrations create stress concentrations along a cut, letting a single tooth rip open blubber and muscle with less force than a blunt crush would need. But the broad tooth base and stout jaws kept the teeth from shearing off while hitting bone. When you combine massive muscle attachments, stout vertebrae, and serrated knives the size of hands, you get a predator that could shear chunks from a whale or fracture ribs to collapse lungs. That's why we find whale bones with deep, repeated cuts and snapped ribs. Scene 9. The fossil record also shows behavior over time. Juvenile megalodon teeth cluster in coastal deposits. Adult teeth appear offshore with whale-rich sediments. That suggests life stages, sheltered shallow nurseries for the young, open ocean hunting grounds for adults. Over millions of years, we see shifts in tooth frequency and distribution that track climate shifts, changing ocean productivity, and the rise of new competitors. Those shifts form the backbone of extinction explanations. When prey distributions changed, megalodon's ecological scaffolding began to wobble. Scene 10. Third rehook and a myth bust. Megalodon wasn't just a supersized great white. They belonged to different branches of the shark tree. Great whites are lamnids. Megalodon is part of Ontodontidae. Similarities are convergent. Big serrated teeth evolved twice for cutting big prey. Also, contrary to some pop claims, humans never met Megalodon. It vanished about 3.6 million years ago, long before our species appeared. The biggest killers on record left evidence: teeth piles, fractured whale bones, and shifting fossil patterns, not ancient ship logs. Scene 11. So why did it go extinct? The answer is probably a combination. Cooling oceans reduced whale nursery areas, large whale populations changed, and new competitors like fast, social predators took advantage of the shifting prey types. A big predator needs stable, abundant food. When the ocean's menu and temperatures changed, the energy budget that supported such huge bodies likely collapsed. Fossil trends match that narrative. Declines in megalodon teeth, frequency in higher latitudes, and changing tooth sizes during the last million years of its record. Scene 12. Megalodon left a fossil trail that still teaches us about ecology, anatomy, and extinction. Its teeth are more than trophies. They're data points that, when combined with vertebrae and whale bones, rebuild a vanished oceanic drama. We can picture the ambush, the bite, the bone fragments sinking into the deep. And we can learn a modern lesson. Even the largest predators are fragile when the world they depend on changes. If Megalodon rose from the deep today, which modern marine animal do you think would stand the best chance against it?